Hey guys, it's Mr. Francie here, and this is my fun video for February. Yay! So basically, we are starting, well, we're technically, don't tell anyone, we're starting this on the 31st of January, but that's okay. We just won't tell anyone, and we'll make like it's the 1st of February, which technically is about 6-7 hours away. So that's okay. By the time you see it, it'll be the 1st of February if you're in Australia, but then if you're in America, it might still be the 30th of January. Moving on. Okay, so basically, this is another Q&A. It is called the Anything But Books tag, and I'm really excited to get into these questions and answer them for you guys to give you a bit more of a well-rounded idea of who I am outside of reading books, which I think is a really good idea because that's what I talk about now on this channel. I just talk about books. So what else goes on in the life of Mr. Francie when I'm not reading books? Let's find out. Question number 1, name a cartoon that you love. Okay, so I love the adult or family, I don't know what you would rate them, cartoons, the standard ones that are really well known. So, and I'm into a lot of them. So I love The Simpsons. The Simpsons has always been my highest rated cartoon show. I have seen every single episode and I've seen most of them probably many times, multiple times, and on multiple different streaming platforms as well as DVD and on TV and da-da-da. So I love The Simpsons. Family Guy, I do like, although I do feel it's fallen off a little bit, but I do love it. South Park, Again, I feel it's falling off a little bit, but that's owing to everything becoming a lot more politically correct now compared to what it was back in the day, but I still don't mind it. And what's the other one? Bob's Burgers, yeah, recent introduction to me. When I say recent, it was about 2 years ago. And I was at a friend's place and watched a couple of episodes and really started loving it. So I do love those cartoon shows. If I were to tell you my favorite cartoon movie, without a doubt, it would be the original Disney Aladdin. I don't mind the live action film. However, for me to say that I like it, then I would have to not even think about it having any relation to the animated version, because the animated version is a classic to me. It is my absolute favorite. I do like Beauty and the Beast. I do like The Little Mermaid. I love The Lion King, but Aladdin stands out to me as it was always my favorite one. I always loved magic. I loved the character, Aladdin himself. So, you know, I just, what can I say? I love Disney's Aladdin. So there we go. What is your favorite song right now? By far and away, and this is probably a song that not a lot of Australians know because the band, while they've come out here, they're not that well known, and the genre of music is not that well known either. But my favorite song is from the symphonic metal, which is taking symphonic music, so all different instruments of the orchestra of the symphony, and then combining that with metal and having an opera singer singing along with metal and symphony and metal combined music in the background. It is an awesome experience. The band's name is Nightwish. Love them. They've had a couple of different singers. They're currently working with Floor Jansen, and I have a lot of love for Floor Jansen. The vocal range that she has, the classical training is absolutely amazing. The song itself is called Ghost Love Score, and if you're wondering why it's called Score, it's because the song goes for over 10 minutes. So, I mean, if it was a book, it might as well be a tome. But it is absolutely worth it. The music is so dynamic. It's so, like, I can't help but get lost in the music of it, where a lot of pop songs and ballads and stuff that I do love, don't get me wrong, they feel much more simplistic by comparison, because when you combine symphony, all the instruments of a symphony with metal, and then you have an opera singer singing to that, it takes you to another world. So check out Ghost Love Score by Nightwish. If you're looking it up on YouTube, look up the live version from Wacken. Oh my gosh, blows me away, and there is a moment towards the end that you don't want to miss, so stick out the whole video, because there is a note that she hits right at the end, her very last note she hits. Oh my god, absolutely mind-blowing. Her name being Floor Jansen, they call it the Floorgasm because of just how amazing, and I don't mean to put any sexual innuendo out there at all, it's just how amazing it is, and the reaction that you have to just how or building and surprising that it actually is. It's amazing. So check out Ghost Love Score by Nightwish. Live at Wacken is the best version in my opinion. I know other people who do know this band love Taya or love Annette, and that's fine. I'm not getting into any debates here because quite frankly I don't care to. It's just I came along when Floor was already part of the band, so Floor to me is just Nightwish. That's just the way it is. But anyway, probably TMI. Let's keep going. Question number 3. What could you do for hours that isn't reading? Okay, so this is a tough one for me because reading is basically what I'm doing at the moment, but probably singing. I love to sing. I'm not going to say that I am the world's best singer because I'm not. Clearly, well, not clearly because you guys haven't heard me sing and it's not going to happen. But there is just something that comes over me when I sing and I feel like I'm just transported to another place. So I love to sing. It's funny. I can go days without listening to music and it will not affect me in the slightest. I don't need to listen to music. I just don't. But if I can sing, yeah, it takes me to another place to sing. And I sing multiple different genres from symphonic metal, obviously, to pop, to ballads, to musical theatre, to, you name it. I love all different types of music. So probably singing for that one. Question 4, what is something that you love to do that your followers would be surprised by? Oh gosh, that you'll be surprised by. Maybe the singing. If I was to go for something else, I'd probably say crocheting. I love to crochet, although I don't love crocheting in the heat of summer. It is so hot. We're experiencing this heat wave right now. So yeah, no, with all that wool, it's just too much. But in winter, I love crocheting, and actually one of my favorite pastimes in June or July, it really depends on where it comes up in the calendar, is I love tennis, specifically women's tennis. There's probably more your surprising thing for you is that I love tennis. I love women's tennis, the WTA Tour. I've been following them since 1999. So what's that? That's like 21 years or so. Absolutely love the WTA Tour. I like some of the guys that play on the men's tour, the ATP tour, but I love the WTA tour. Anyway, one of the big events on the tennis calendar, which you may have heard of, is Wimbledon. It's played on the grass in England and in Wimbledon, England. And when I watch Wimbledon, I love to crochet and watch Wimbledon. This was a tradition I started many years ago when I first learned how to crochet, was to watch tennis matches and crochet while watching tennis. So you may not have known either of those things about me, that I like doing either of them or both of them together at once. Okay, question 5. What is your favorite unnecessary specific thing to learn about? Okay, I'm going to have to read this question again. What is your favorite unnecessarily specific thing to learn about? Oh gosh. I don't know. Okay, so unnecessarily specific, I would say I wouldn't call myself a philosopher, but I love the idea of philosophy, that you can take something and just think about it and really just expand that thinking from the two-dimensional view of this is this because this is what I've learned or this is what I know, and then start to question that and see where that leads you. And I love that. I will have moments where something will pop into my mind, or I will read something, hear something, whatever it is, and then suddenly I'm off, and an hour later I am still thinking about this thing, but I've gone like 50 steps in another direction, still to do with this thing because of all the questions that I've asked and have been answering of myself and research that I've been doing and all this kind of stuff. So there you go. Just unspecific topics. There's no one specific genre that any of these categories fall into, because it could come from anywhere and be about absolutely anything. But I might, for example, start off watching a TV show and then they'll say something and I will research what that thing is because I don't know what it is. And then an hour later, I realize, oh my God, I've still got this show to watch that I haven't finished because I've been so busy thinking about this thing that I've now learnt and trying to, philosophize or whatever the word is over it. So there you go. Okay, question number 6. What is something unusual that you know how to do? Probably crochet, because, I don't know, you probably didn't think that that's something that I do or anyone really of my generation does, but I do. And yeah, I have crocheted at work before and everyone found that a little bit unusual. They didn't act poorly around me, they just found it different. I would also probably say reading, but again, this is not about reading, but the reason I bring reading up for the answer to this question is because reading is really being phased out, at least picking up a physical book. It's being phased out. If you look at the amount of people around the world who read these days, it's not a lot. It used to be a lot. It's not anymore. So it can be seen as unusual, but I guess for the sake of this channel, reading is not an appropriate answer. Unusual that I know how to do. Okay, tarot. Yeah, I can read tarot. So I haven't done readings for a very long time, and there's something you probably didn't know about me. I haven't done readings in a really long time, at least client-based readings. I've done general readings. Last one I did was probably about a month ago, because I like to them at the start of the month to see what's coming up in general, not for me, but for the universe, what's going on. But yeah, I used to do tarot readings for clients constantly. So yeah, that could be the answer for that one. Something unusual, tarot reading. Okay, name something you made in the last year and show us if you can. Okay. Just a moment. I can do that. Just a moment. Okay, so this is something that I'm really proud that I have made because it's been a while since I had done this. I used to do this quite a lot, just like with reading. But it's been a while since I got back into doing this, and so now that I have, I'm really excited. What I have made is my first fifth or quarter of a book, and this is the manuscript for chapter 3 of my book. So I'm showing it to you guys very quickly. There we go. Goodbye. And I have published the first couple of chapters onto Fiction Press because it is an original book. It's not a fanfic. It is an original. And yeah, basically and I'm not plugging the book. I'm just telling you because I'm talking about my creation. Basically, it is a book about, shall we say, angels going to a school to learn how to be angels, which is, I think, something different. It's not something that I've really come across before. Maybe someone's written about it, but I'm used to reading about vampire schools and schools for witches and schools for werewolves and whatever else, but I'm writing about a school for angels. And so, yeah, so that's pretty cool. I've made this and there you go. What is your most recent personal project? This channel and everything that comes along with it, the reading experiences, the goal setting, all that is the most recent project that I have undertaken, and it's really taken away any last little inch of time that I've had, because otherwise I've been filling up my time with other things that I do. So I have a lot of different things that I do throughout my day, throughout my night, throughout my week, throughout my month, throughout my year, that I only have little snippets of time here and there for one or two more things, and now reading has completely taken over that. So this channel and everything that goes along with it, the books I read, the goals I set, the videos I do, that is the most recent project that I have. So I know it relates to this, but that is the answer. Tell us something that you think about often. Okay, so a lot of booktubers were talking about family with this one. I'm not going to talk about my family in this because it's not that I don't think about my family. I do. I just don't think about them all the time. It's not the most consuming thing for me. And that's not a comment on my family of I don't like them or I hate them or anything like that, because I'm fine. I love my family. They're great. But they don't consume me. It's not, what was the question? Sorry, it's just really hot. Tell us something you think about often. Yeah, it's not something I think about often. So, something I think about often, oh gosh. Trying to think for an answer outside of reading, because I think a lot about what I'm reading, and it does become rather consuming. But outside of that, I spend actually, and this, you might find this interesting, I spend a lot of time thinking about humanity. As much as I talk about on this channel how I don't like to read about anything to do with Humanlandia in a book, I do spend, and part of the reason for this is because I do spend a lot of my time when I'm not reading thinking about the actual physical reality, Humanlandia. And so I've always wanted to be a social anthropologist and really research humans and what makes them tick and what makes humans do this, this, and this. Because I've always found it fascinating to look from the outside in and just look at human behavior and as I say, what makes them tick, what makes them do what they do. And what's really been taking over my mind recently to do with Humanlandia is the topic of compassion. Compassion for others and being selfless and caring for others versus the opposite, versus being selfish and me, I, you know, it's all about numero uno. And so, and for me, I do consider myself to be an extremely compassionate being. I am the type of person that if someone's behind me in the line at a store, I will say, please go ahead of me. If someone drops something, I'll bend down to pick it up. If I bump into someone, I will say, excuse me. I will smile at people. I will have a nice, polite conversation with them. And then when I step out of what I'm doing and look at what's going on around me, I am intrigued by the fact that there seems to be a lot more focus towards everyone looking out for themselves as opposed to looking out for others. Now, I'm not saying that everyone does this. I'm just saying that there is that mentality out there. And when I say it's interesting, I'm not saying that I like it, because I honestly don't, and I don't want to get too involved in this topic, but because I'm not standing on a soapbox here, I'm just answering a question. But it is very interesting looking at the polarity between those who are selfless and compassionate and caring and nurturing versus those who are and those who are nothing but that versus those who are nothing but selfish and it's all about numero uno, me, I. And yeah, I'm hoping that it's something that will change, even if I can not influence because that's probably not the word I want to use, but if I can assist anyone in my personal surroundings, anyone that I come into contact with, to be a little more compassionate, that will be great, because I feel like the world could stand to be far more compassionate than it is right now. That's not to say we don't live in a compassionate world, that we don't have compassionate societies. We do. It's just I feel that we can be so much more compassionate if we took 5, 10, 15, 20 more seconds out of our day to say hi to someone, ask how someone's day is, show that we care, show that we have love for each other. So yeah, that does consume me quite a bit, actually. So there we go. Next thing. Question 10, and there are 11 questions. Give us something that is your favorite, and they're intimating, well, they're suggesting that we talk about food and drinks here. My favorite food for a main meal has been, and most possibly always will be, pasta. I love pasta. Oh my goodness. I don't like seafood, but once I had a seafood pasta and I loved the pasta in the seafood pasta. So I love my pasta. I can take any type of pasta, although I prefer to not have the whole grain pasta. I prefer to have the original, well, what I call the normal pasta, but anyway, not trying to be judgmental here, the original pasta that's not whole grain or wholemeal or anything like that. One day for a cooking class, I decided to cook wholemeal pasta because we had to cook something healthy and I love pasta, and then I tried it and I didn't like it. Not because I thought that I didn't cook it well, I just did not like the taste. But I prefer the refrigerated version, so like ravioli and tortellini, or as my friend used to say that I say it, tortellini. But anyway, so I love the meat-filled ones, or even if it's not meat that's filled in it, I like the little parcels a lot. I love gnocchi if it, oh my gosh, like I could talk about this forever, but if gnocchi tastes like what you imagine a cloud, a fluffy cloud would taste like, then oh my gosh, gnocchi is amazing. And I've had those experiences a couple of times, but not often, because generally speaking, I feel like people overcook gnocchi. But I love my pasta. As far as drinks are concerned, my favorite drink would probably be vanilla Coke. It used to be brown creamy soda, but I would now say vanilla Coke, which is kind of similar because it's Coke with vanilla in it. Favorite alcoholic drink would probably be Midori, and so you can see I'm not a hard drinker. I don't drink often at all. If I want to have a drink, I will grab a Midori Splice, which is really, it's like a 1.0 drink. But anyway, so I don't drink a lot at all, but I do drink vanilla Coke. I do love that. I am lactose intolerant, so I love my milk, but it needs to be lactose free. So I will drink coffee. I will sometimes drink tea, but every morning I will have a coffee and I will have that with my lactose free milk. I love milkshakes, but again, it has to be lactose free. All right, moving on. Final question, question 11. Say the first thing that pops into your head, magic. Okay, there you go. Because I want to read books about magic, so come on, bring them on, people. Sorry. Like, I'm just thinking as far as authors, bring on these books for me where we start on page 1 with some big magical battle that's going on, and throughout the whole book, magic is used every single page. That's what I want. I don't need a book that is shrouded in reality. I don't need any kind of grounding reality in a book. No, it's just, for me, it's not necessary. I love fantasy, so the idea that it needs to be more real, and so therefore Jane wouldn't do that in real life. Well, I'm not reading about what Jane would do in real life. I'm reading about what Jane would do in a book. So I'm sorry. It's just, I hear this a lot, especially when I first started writing. I had people that were commenting on my work saying this wouldn't happen in real life. And my response would be, well, yeah. And I would think to myself, what are you missing about this being a fictional book? It's not about real life. It's not based on real life. It's based on what could happen if we introduce, say, magic or some kind of fantastical element into a world that is not necessarily a human world. But anyway, that's just me. So there we go. I'm going to leave that there. This is my fun video for the month, the anything but books tag. If you have any other book tags that you would like for me to read through, then please do let me know in the comments below and I will read through them. But in the meantime, I'm going to let you go. Peace, blessings, and so much love. And I will see you in the next one. Mwah. Bye, guys. Bye.